start.
Oh, you should have gone downtown. There's a lot of people there yelling.
Yeah, so we can go in there. So I guess I started.
You want me in there now?
I started it.
Okay. What does that mean? You can come along.
You can no, talk. You can come. It's just.
You can be in
You
this.
can come and
Why can't you
talk.
Silly be in this. She's got a hand. Look at it. Put her glasses on now.
Oh, yeah.
So nobody will know who you are.
I got freaked out because you're talking more than. But I was trying to do this. So just
more than normal.
More than me. She was talking more because I'm trying to. So. What?
Nothing.
What? You're fine.
Yeah, you can ask.
What were you gonna say?
Your questions are solid. You can ask.
I'm just gonna start out, walk around and talk about the artwork and.
That's vague. You got to point at something and ask me to something you want.
Okay, let's start over here, because. Okay, the smiles. Tell me about those.
These are actually, what's weird about these is this design was for these things originated in, I think, 1992, and it was on paper forever, and I finally just decided to make them. So it's just a group of psycho smiles that go, well, they're by themselves, but really it's about crazy people or people's aberrations and following those. And that's pretty much it. That's what it's about. It's about that freedom to be somewhat crazy. Not dangerous, just crazy.
It's well, the smile is like, oh, I was brought up being really awkward, and people would say, "Why don't you smile more?" And it's like, I don't want to fucking smile. I'm not in the. I mean, it's because they're all the same. It's like a conform. What I'm taking. It is
like that. It is like a face. It's like a putting on a face, a front, at the same time. So it has that quality of, I suppose you'd say that putting on airs and pretending. It's pretending, but what's underneath the surface. So it suggests there is more underneath the surface that's probably not good. That's not
So the sheep.
Oh, the lambs. This is my flock. They're kind of scattered around right now. They're not put in their normal order, which is really they like to be grouped together because they're scared a little bit. But it has religious connotations, but it also has social connotations in that most people are considered, or the masses are considered sheep because they're followers. And these happen to have, before that even, see, I did the negative spaces inside her vagina too. Gosh. So she was, having a little negative space thing.
And tell us about the ride thing really quick. I have tell us about that. Tell us about that.
Oh, you ready for that now?
Yeah. Just really quick, because I don't have very much space on here.
Okay, so this is it's an interactive work, and it's a sculpture which it's for fucking. So I hired a model for the last show that I did to make photos of her actually having sex with this. So if you look at my camera, see she looks like that. As we're going through it, this is the process. I mean, it was only 5 or 6 photos that I produced to go with this, just so you get the idea that, or understand that this person is actually having sex with that object.
And so I think art that's should be actually been used.
Art is fucked. So
great, yeah.
Do you see this evolving into a series?
I don't know. It could. I don't have any plans for further works right now. But it's not the first time. I mean, some of the pieces that are on the wall there have also been inserted. I
wanted to ask you about this shape, this kind of
dildo.
No, you think it's what?
I think this is what is interesting, how you have, if you had a series of them,
You would come in and
no,
one after the other.
Right. Yeah, but I don't want to pay them anymore.
I want to ask you about that shape because you have that seed kind of. You mentioned that
this
pod
is a soul.
kind of.
This is the soul shape. That's what all those are in the paintings there.
What do
Those
you
are-
mean by soul? They're on the paintings
This is my
too.
manifestation, physical manifestation or visual manifestation of what a soul should look like.
But it's sexual. I mean, it's.
Well, that
in
pieces, I'm talking about those pictures, the flat pieces.
They
there,
look
but
like
this thing-
pills too. I thought they were
do.
pills at first, and I
There's all
realized
kinds of interpretations. So, and they look like balloons as well, you know, that kind of thing.
And you want to mention that artfuck.com site?
Oh,
Just
yeah.
mention it quickly to get the word out.
Oh, yeah, so we're, yeah, I don't know.
Not like I have a huge amount of, but it'll
My friends
give a little
and
bit
I
of
have
word out.
started that website, artfuck.com, and it's really just a t-shirt site where people are making, not necessarily obscene t-shirts, any kind of t-shirt you want, but it's
But yours are.
well, mine are the ones I have posted, and I
Tell
have many.
tell us one of yours.
Well, many of them are about virginity and stuff, and the ones that I have posted, well, they're actually, one of them's a Dove bar with a painting of an asshole, and it says, lick an asshole. And another one has an Erlenmeyer flask, and it says on it, support stem cell research, abort. You know, those kinds. I mean, they're a little nasty.
Why do you I want to just get a statement of your overall aesthetic and what.
What's happening with these?
You know, I'm asking him. Sorry, I'm asking him something. Then you can ask that. Asking a question. Sorry, I don't.
It's okay.
I hate that. It's
We'll do it.
awkward.
I'll
It makes it
handle
more
it right
awkward.
after you're done.
I'm running. I made a little more space, so we're still. Sorry, I should have had
You're
tons
fine,
of
Ryan.
space.
What's your question?
Your art aesthetic overall, then, or do you have whatever you'd say?
I don't. I mean, I don't know. I don't. You would have to sum up my aesthetic, but it's really more content or contextually oriented, and it jumps from thing to thing, and a lot of it is because of the internet. A lot of it is because we're moving so fast. I find I have a problem staying in what is traditionally recognized in the art world as the series platform, where you continue on a base of work.
A lot of it is really humorous or funny. A lot of it is.
I don't think anybody gets described as one thought. I mean, you have many thoughts, and they're all equally important.
Okay, what was your question on that? Really quick.
Dogs and
Hairless
cats?
dogs.
Yeah, I only have a couple of them here. I have a couple more at home, and there's about 6 more there. I'm making a lot of dogs and cats, and it's the dogs and cats is a project. It's really about why we have wars or well, that's partially it. Why we don't like each other.
Is that what's the newest stuff that you're working on? Is that the newest, or what is you've
That's
been
some of
working
the
on
newest.
these paintings for? Well, you had the small ones at her gallery, and they wanted some gallery or wanted larger.
Not necessarily. They didn't really have anything to do with me making them larger. I made them larger because I just need to make them bigger.
And so, what's the newest stuff?
It's always changing. It goes back and forth. Those are probably new. Those are in progress. Those are not done yet. Those are works in progress.
And there's like an interesting thing here with this tension. Like if you just had someone standing over it, there's like a weird tension thing that's happening. Yeah.
Like that?
Yeah, there's like this weird tension thing that is a little bit different than when you use these.
Yes, it is. This is what. Yeah, it's way different. Those are more pleasant or peaceful, passive. Gentle.
Yeah.
Gentle is a good word, right?
But then you also think about the space too.
Yes.
Well, there's some-
There's a
Those are
different
more
type of
formal
space.
oriented. This is more performance. I mean, those are performance as well, but this is an actual.
The tension
But then there's like two
between.
different types of space. There's like airspace,
Yeah.
and then there's like this type of space. Because aren't these space creatures?
Yes. Well, not space creatures, but they're negative space.
Yeah. So
Animated.
there's like two different types of space. If
Yes,
you
there
have
are.
someone actually.
Yeah. This
standing-
one's filling a space.
But it's also creating a space.
Yes, it does that too.
If you just stand over it, it creates a different type of space.
Yeah. I'm not going to sit down.
Well, no, I
If
don't
you just see where she was trying to, no, you have this tension between this fun kind of
And you connect
humorous fun and these
Yeah, I
really
do.
dark, like the victims of serial,
Yeah.
like really dark subject matter.
like you try to create a connection between that and the person.
Oh, absolutely.
That's not.
It's not a lone object. It's more like evidence of an activity. Or
It's like there's a tension, like there's an activity going to happen.
yes, it is going. Yeah, there's a potential for it to be a functioning activity.
The lines.
But it has been a functioning activity.
The
too, as we've seen.
I'm really interested in the way they connect with the shape, like in the paintings, and you're using that over and over, and the lines suggest a kind of energy, maybe.
Yeah, they do have. There's a flow kind of quality about it, and it is an energy type flow.
So
I
this
suppose.
is about war.
Not necessarily about war, but it
Animosity.
could be politics. It could be. It's just why people don't get along.
Huh.
And really, the sum of it is that everybody wants everyone else to be like them and have their same ideological positions in the world.
Okay, I think that's about it.
Really,
We
you
got-
want to talk about the penis tree and how?
I'll
that-
talk about the penis tree really quick, because this seems to keep going. It's
Julie.
not.
This,
I was wondering what's happening with this.
I made that.
No, just talk about the penis tree. You're interested in the penis tree
No,
with the
penis tree is dedicated to women. It's their
and with those
yeah.
obviously what
And
those
there's
are.
20, how many of these? I counted them.
You did. The number is insignificant. It just needed to make a complete circle and a halo that was evenly spaced out for the penis tree, and it's really about elevating the status of women to, or sexually elevating the status of women to that of the male counterpart, which has been almost like a sexual predator, and so this gives women the opportunity to be sexual predators as well. So they're on equal footing. And this is just documentation of a woman's conquests. She might need a bigger tree later, and that's okay. We could make more branches.
The male version would be like something like tacky underwear. Around.
Yeah, yes, something like that. Well, yeah, I suppose. Or photographs of your conquests. Anything that documents it.
Okay, think we're done. Anything else I missed? I think that's all. Okay.
I'm sure there's a shitload of shit.
All right. Well, thanks.
You're welcome. It's always a pleasure to.
Your-
Paper dolls. I
You
mean,
have the photographs of your the turd and
Yeah.
and you took pictures of your poop and
Oh, so this is one that hasn't
Hey.
been dressed up.
right.
okay.
Those are just the
But
church.
you last time you were on the show, you had
Oh, do you want to go
pictures of
see
your
those?
poop
You want to? Should we go stand?
and the vaginas and the poop and the
Well, they-
serial killing victims. Jesus, I could have done a whole
You're
hour.
supposed to say Jesus. Put that in there. Jesus.
I'll edit these all together in.
Okay. So these are the poops that you're talking about. These are my shits with the one.
Oh, those are actual. I didn't notice before when we were in
Oh, yeah,
here.
this
Those
is-
are actual photos.
Yeah, these are photos of a dressed up turd in my toilet that I made into saints. So they're shaped, you
Remain
can
a virgin.
clone a son. That's one of my T-shirts. So, but you can see how I carved little noses and mouths and stuff in them. So I shaped the poops, and then I dressed them with, cut out, did little drawings of essentially paper dolls, and put on their features, and then gave them a halo and
Talk about
sanctified them.
the vaginas over there
What vaginas?
on the wall. What vaginas?
You mean that one painting?
There. Well, these. Yeah, all of this stuff is like a wall of.
Oh yeah. there's
Yeah,
a couple
all of
vaginas.
these,
Oh,
all
yeah,
of
okay.
these.
Well, this is just a painting of. Basically, it's just a painting of a vagina.
Because
that's all, 'cause I like
the seed,
vaginas.
you mentioned the seed shape, that oval kind of with points at the ends. That's suggestive of a vagina too, right?
Yeah, it is sort of. Yes, it is very much like that. And I made this for Doug Harvey's show. He did this, what was it? It was a zine where everything was individually fabricated. So this is a pussy gnome. So it has, a little screen with a little hat and a feather.
Do you work back
And a
here
pet
mostly?
I do work back here mostly. This is where most of my studio, where I paint usually on that table and stuff, and I just use the front if I need to cut wood and stuff, but generally I work here.
Okay, anything else? This right here we didn't.
These are the actual elements that were on the poops in the toilet. The paper doll elements like these that are glued on.
So you remove. I'm not sure which I like better, this or with it still in the bowl where you have the bowl.
I think they should go together.
I think I like with the bowl better.
But
Yeah.
don't you think they'd be handsome next to each other as a diptych?
Yeah.
Yes.
So then you're getting the real objects that were in there. So those little brown spots and all that on the halos, those are all excrement.
That's real excrement.
Yeah, that's real excrement.
Hey.
And then, of course, I just painted the figure poop in there just to
And
give
these
it
are
some.
in the Japanese Biennale.
Yeah, these are the Triennale.
Triennale.
Yeah.
Every 3 years.
Every 3 years.
Anything else on this? Okay, you talked about the and these were at Julie's show, the serial killer
these are
victims.
the serial killer's hairs. These are all the cutouts.
What about the beards too? That's another thing.
This you want to talk about. You want to know about this thing. This little
I want to
penis.
know about that. Yeah, I couldn't help but notice that.
Yeah, this is a siphon fountain. Have you ever siphoned gasoline? You had to,
I know how. I haven't done it, but I know.
But you know what it's about,
Yeah.
right? So this is the same idea in that this hose goes into a bucket of water that's actually higher, I think. Is it higher? Yeah, it was a little.
You have to have a higher,
than
either
this.
higher or have some kind of pump.
And the
to
penis
pump
is usually crotch height, about right here.
Yes.
And then there's a bucket on the floor, and to get it going, I have to have someone suck the cock. And I did this piece in San Diego, and a bunch of guys were sucking the cock and getting it going. So it was a streaming video, so to speak. It was certainly a streaming penis. A streaming fountain. Then there was water splashing all over the floor in the bucket. And it was just a nice work. It's a piece that I did a long time ago, actually, in the early 90s that I created. Just your basic siphon fountain.
Okay, yeah, I can't think of anything else. In a minute, they'll probably be, oh shit.
Oh shit.
What if think about something?
And so that makes it good, because then you don't know when you're candid and when you're not candid.
Yeah. Anytime there's a camera in front of me, I'm like.
But even in this kind of situation,
That's
where we're
what I
just
have to do. The best stuff is like when people are like argue, and those one friends of mine were having this heated argument, and I just turned the camera on, and this is good.
And you got to
I
document
I
it.
used to do that a lot more. I want to start doing that.
I think that's a good thing, because that's raw and it's real. It's solid.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not choreographed.
How often do you work in here?
I try to spend every weekend here working, and sometimes weeknights when I'm off work, when I'm
How
up
long
getting out of
does
school.
it take you to get here from your house?
Oh, just quick, it's 5 minutes.
Oh.
It's getting here from work that's a bitch. But that's getting to my house from work too. It's an hour. It's like going to Santa Monica.
Oh, see, this is boring shit now. Who cares how long it takes him to get here? You were doing really good, Julie. God. Sorry. I'm a little
It's okay.
neurotic.
Just keep it on, and it'll come up. It'll
And what do you
develop.
put on this?
What do you mean?
Oh, matte gel.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. All that shit. I seal it with varnish, and then I put matte gel on it and thicken it, and so it gets about a 1/4 inch or 1/8 inch thick coat on it, and then I coat it with gesso until it's completely white, and then paint the areas I want, and then
surfboard,
seal
what
it.
type of varnish? Like surfboard?
No, not resin. Not that
Resin.
kind of resin. Acrylic resin,
Oh, okay. You
which
put
is
acrylic
very
resin on
similar.
this?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's just the gel. Gel is part of acrylic resin, but this
Oh.
stuff here, what is it? It's matte varnish and top coat and stuff like that. Those are the sealers I use first.
I was
but
gonna
use
get
many
oh
coats.
my god. Oh my god. Tedious. I was gonna ask because it's like right here, the penis. I didn't think like get a photo of you pretending to like
Suck it.
that would be funny. It's funny. It's not.
For you.
Yeah.
Well, like
her.
not
You're gonna
not
jeopardize her
not
personality.
Let
actual.
me do a picture of you with the penis.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it would have been. That's all. I'm just saying it would have been funny.
You want
Not
me to
actually. Just like a way,
I've
like
never
this far.
actually sucked that
No,
penis. I don't think I could open my mouth wide enough for that. That's a really big dick. I mean, it's oversized.
You're talking about the dick on the wall?
Yeah.
but it's so.
She's
But it's so.
going, that's not big enough.
But it was like you mentioned, it was down here, which that makes sense too. That's
Oh, yeah, it's
relative.
always box height.
But having it
Right there.
at mouth height is very funny because
Well, because then, it is. Well,
because the guy would be like 15 feet tall or something. But having it at
I could do this for like kids make sculptures with this.
you could do what?
I could have the kids make a sculpture.
Oh,
with this
easily.
process.
That's just styrofoam and there's a wood core in it. It's a wood
Oh,
shape
yeah.
inside that I
But
cut.
they could just use the foam.
Yeah, and then it's just messy.
Yeah,
I mean, when
that's
they
okay.
cut it, the stuff is all over. I mean,
Oh.
I have to sweep every day because there's
And
just
what do
so
you
much
use to cut
styrofoam.
it? Like a
I just use a regular
little kitchen knife?
exacto,
serrated knives.
Oh, okay.
like a bread knife.
Yeah, exactly, like a bread knife, like
Okay,
that.
now this is why I understand about your serial killer series.
You see, I got my weapons up
Yeah.
there.
See, now it makes sense.
It fits in, doesn't it? But the weapons came after I did those pieces. I mean, I didn't think about making those
Or were
first.
you doing sculpture before that?
Oh yeah. Oh, you mean why I'm using those tools?
You're thinking about.
No, I'm not thinking about that. It's just a freaking tool, okay? I'm not thinking about killing people, and I'm not thinking about
You
killing
are.
the artwork.
You're the one thinking.
Which is good.
I was.
You are the one thinking. We don't want you not thinking, otherwise you're dead.
I can talk about colonialism now.
Yes, let's talk about
Yeah. Oh
colonialism.
God. Okay. That's boring. Now I turned the cat like you. It
I
was
like
really
colonialism.
good. I was going to tell him about that thing at your gallery
Nothing.
because you're talking about foodies, and it was so like okay. Well, she stopped doing the gallery. These people took it over.
It turned into a foodie?
Yeah, it was like a pop-up restaurant where they had art on the wall.
Yeah.
But these people, it's this thing, where like little plates, tapas, and they have small plates of food. You gotta watch on the numbers on it's gonna.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have to. They have these little plates of food, so you buy all these little plates with like 1 or 2 shrimp or whatever, and then at the end you get it's like $80 or something.
This is for Julie. 'Cause it's a big smile.
So anyway,
Psycho crazy.
I did a review of it.
You're supposed to hold a knife.
And they have like.
See what Brian looks like in that. He looks
It's
really
the
kind
only
of
smile
crazy,
you'll ever
too.
get out of me.
And you know what? That's perfect for you.
But they had this.
The fake
I
smile.
went and reviewed this place where they did a dinner, and it was like a 10-course dinner. But the food, they give you a plate, and the food was like this big.
Oh yeah.
And the one,
This is how it was last night.
really.
Well,
We were wondering
It's
about
really
that.
but the one thing they had, it was like really artsy about the way they presented it, And they had this one where it was a little, really like high-end beef jerky. Really, it was this meat like this.
Wait, what the
like
hell's
this-
high-end beef jerky? Is that
Well, I'm
Kobe
just
beef?
kidding.
Kobe
No,
beef jerky.
No, it's like prosciutto or something,
Oh,
dried
yeah.
smoked meat.
But wasn't it like
But
a
the way
laundry
they-
line?
No, let me tell it.
Oh.
You just want to cut me off and tell the punchline, so I don't
There's a punchline.
get to. He would enjoy it particularly because they had it the way they presented the little artsy presentation. They had this little tiny, like a clothesline, like a line, like these posts, and the meat hung
On the
and so
table?
I thought,
Oh my
I
God!
thought it
Really?
was-
They had a piece of meat hanging on a clothesline. That's the way
but
they
it's like
served
this
it.
big, yeah, and it was. I thought it's meat curtains.
It is
That's
meat
the
curtains.
punchline. That's
Oh.
the joke. Now
Oh,
I
yeah.
get to it. Now it's not.
What's her name would
But
like
he
that
would
too?
enjoy it.
That lady who dresses up in her meat costume.
Gaga.
Lady, yeah, lady girl.
Did you see
Yeah.
her?
Have I ever seen her?
Like live?
No.
Oh.
Have you?
No.
I don't have any desire. I don't think she sings that great.
Yeah, she's
I
fun.
heard something of hers, and I thought it was Madonna, who I don't really care either. But I thought it was like.
Did you go see
She
the?
does have a Madonna-ish.
Did you go see the that one the behind Brian? Did you go see them?
Swans?
Yeah, the Swans.
Oh, this? No, I didn't.
They were fun.
But I wouldn't mind.
This,
Why do I have this? I can't remember why.
Tell us about this.
Where did I get the spank stick? Oh, I went to the Hollywood, the Sunset Boulevard, or what is it? Yeah, Sunset Boulevard Film Music Festival, and one booth was handing out the spank stick. Obviously, Hustler. Oh, this is why I got it, because of the hood. This is why I have this.
Oh.
Because I have a project that I'm doing that's going to be me hooded like this.
Oh.
I'm doing a little torture room.
It's very, wow, and that's very,
It's in my future.
I want to think of the word, not provocative. I use that word too much, but that's very, yeah, I guess the word charged because of all the beheadings and the terrorist stuff where they have hoods, they have hoods on.
Yeah, and the unfortunate thing about this is I planned this about 4 years ago. Now,
now
they're adult. That was proliferated. Everybody's like cutting off heads. What the fuck?
I was really into decapitations when I saw Garabedian's painting, like back in the
numbers.
That was like kind of why I started painting.
So that was a long time ago, right?
That was like in was that 92?
Yeah. So
it was at LA Louvre when they were in the old space.
Oh yeah.
And it was like he was doing the Iliad and the Odyssey.
Yeah.
And so like you walk in the gallery and there was like this big bright yellow painting with like this cute kind of cartoony decapitated head. I was like, I was like, I love that. And it's like ever since then I've been like in a quest for that painting.
You should get it.
Oh yeah.
Find it. Look for it online.
And now they're like decapitating people like crazy.
Yeah, I love decapitation. Well, I don't love them.
I don't understand the decapitation thing. Why do they want it to be so gruesome? It's just to save a bullet.
Yeah.
It's the symbolism of it.
So much work.
It's the symbolism of it. Yeah, and
it is the symbolism.
I think it might be because it wouldn't have. The internet, again, like we were talking about, the internet makes things blow up bigger than they usually. I think it may be a fad.
I think it's more visual. It's more of a visual.
It's more shocking. Yes. Yeah, when you have it on video.
Yeah.
It's very.
It's very. Decapitation?
I haven't watched any of them.
Me neither.
I did a lot of research on decapitations when I was in college.
But I heard.
At University.
No, you didn't go around decapitating little.
But see, this was when the internet just came out.
Because that would be like in my serial killer phase.
What?
You decapitating little animals.
No. No, we just because on the internet there was what was it, deadpeople.com, back when the internet was just starting to get really popular. So you go on and look at deadpeople.com and there's a lot of decapitations there. But Joel Peter Witkin? Yeah, so he's from New Mexico. And so there's that program is kind of like a medical program, kind of where you're research,
Yeah.
And so it's we were kind of and that was when the internet was just kind of starting. And we're
whoa,
look what you could see on the internet.
Right, yeah. Well, and at that time, too, the internet, it was sort of underground.
Yeah.
It was things that weren't going to be on regular TV. And what's weird about that is so much of that has become popular material for primetime TV.
Yeah.
Which you can just see how our whole society has adjusted through this proliferation of weird material, creepy, actually, material from the internet, and then everybody's consuming it.
Yeah, well, that was the thing when I went to Morocco a couple of years ago, and we were watching English CNN, and they had this this big, huge meathead guy.
What does that mean?
His head was about as big as that pumpkin.
Yeah.
And he's
It wasn't made out of meat, though, was it? It was.
It could have been full of meat. And he was talking about what he did to this woman just like in very graphic detail, and it's like you would never see anything like that on American TV.
No, you wouldn't. Well, and Mexican TV, they do a lot of that too. They're very big on the gruesomeness and revealing it all.
Yeah.
You wonder if things like, though, because, you know, the TV show Breaking Bad, they had a, and that's was in New Mexico.
Right.
They had one of these drug dealers in the show, was decapitated, and they put his. Do you watch it? They put his head. They put his head on the back of a turtle, and the turtle was. I was just wondering if that.
Yes, I saw.
Played a role in this decapitation thing becoming.
Well, it might, because that's what we were talking about earlier. How this has desensitized people or the ideas in movies or video games that they're producing these things. It's desensitized people so that they actually act out these things and think that they're okay to act out.
Well, see,
like it really happens. And they don't really focus on, hey, you know what? This is just pretend. That guy's not a real head.
Well, that's what I was reading about in, like, Susan Sontag. She wrote that book in the 60s, and she's talking about, like, pornography and, like, how she doesn't think pornography is a good idea because, like, over time it's like you have to have, like, more and more extreme measures in order to it to become real pornography.
Oh, yeah, right, because it's just going to become norm.
Yeah, so it's like...
But I don't think it has. Has pornography gotten more and more extreme and more dangerous? I don't think it has. I think that it's turned... In a way, I think it's leveled the playing field for sex, where it's more comfortable to do things that were questionable.
But things that have become more not norm, but more.
I'm sure there's an underground,
like torture porn. You know,
yeah.
They talked about how because partly due to pornography, like anal sex has become like more popular for people to actually do anal sex.
Yeah,
you know,
probably yes. And then there's that book that came out, a series of books. What the hell was it? It was a New York bestseller. It was 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah, you have it here.
My daughter bought those.
We were reading it because
it's interesting.
It's terribly written. It
is, and what's even weirder is that there's another person.
I'm glad you brought that up.
There's a person who I know, someone who's adapting that to a film, and I went through the whole thing. And I said, this is just like that. Because I get all these. It's
so funny because we were sitting in there and picked that up, and I thought, what does this say about Michael?
But it's weird. Like 50 Shades of Grey is weird because it's like the only reason you read it, it's like you endure this like really like horrible,
it's
torturous writing to get to these moments
because it's like
it's bad writing.
It's so cliched because of course the guy is super rich in this business. Because if he was just
he's totally fucked up, but
if he was a regular middle class schlub, it wouldn't be interesting.
But that
it has
would
to
be
like
more
it's a fantasy.
If it was a real middle class.
Yeah, it would actually, but it's the stereotype fantasy of. I'm thinking like, whose fantasy is it? It's the girl's fantasy of meeting real.
And I do think it was written for women.
Yeah, I
think it's written for young girls, which is really weird. The whole thing, and to me, because I also got those Twilight books from my daughter and read those, and I thought this is just a fucking copy of the same thing. So this is a formula. And those guys made a shitload of money making that movie, and these guys are going to make a shitload of money making this series of movies. I could write a book easily just copying these formulas and just change the context and become billionaires. Or millionaires, whatever the hell they become, I don't know.
Opulent.
But it's just, it's so formulaic, which is part of, I think, part of one of the big problems in the art world, too, is everything is so formulaic and repeatable. They just keep recycling stuff in the same way and pretending it's new or putting a new twist on it or a new surface or a new skin and presenting it like, oh yeah, brand new stuff, brand new thing. Yeah, so looks like, hey, doesn't that Bruce Nauman over there? Yeah, no, not someone else.
Like that abstraction stuff, it was really well done, but I thought this was like back in the 70s or 60s even.
Right. Same idea, and they're still
Was that
doing
artist
it.
active in the 70s?
Pardon me?
Who was that artist? I don't even remember.
The one we were talking about, Ellsworth Kelly.
Poe.
Oh, with
Yeah.
Blum and Poe. I don't know who you
The
were.
Japanese.
Well, he could have been, like, maybe he was a big-time 70s artist, you know?
Could have, right. We'd have to look up the history.
That may have been,
to
but
find out.
still, it's
Some
like.
people are authentic and continuing in the same era that they've been working in. But you have to figure that for most of the people that were turning out of graduate school and the proliferation of people were turning out of graduate school with MFAs stamped and ready to go as full-time professional artists, that they're just recycling material.
That's not it. That's the transgender.
No, this is Cherry and Martin. Jennifer Boyson. This is the one I like. I like that one. Here's the transgender one. Oh no, that's not the transgender one.
No, that isn't. That's LAX.
That's that video Antigone.
That was cool. Here's Cause.
Oh yeah, that was good.
Yeah, I like the Snoopy one. But yeah,
I think I like that one with the woman crouching too. We saw these and like we walked in and the first one we're like wow, and then we walked around and saw all of them and we're like, well, these are really all the same.
Yeah, they
except
were.
for that one I like because they used the silhouette of the woman, but the others are just all this blocky.
Right, collagey. Yeah, and that's what I mean. You asked the question before about my aesthetic, and see that is kind of the epitome of what I don't want to do is make something that is just repeatable, that it becomes a series and just cranking out for money, because really that's all that is, right?
Yeah.
It's just commercialism, which is every artist needs to make money, because that's why we do this shit. I mean, that's why we hope we do
But
this
still
shit.
you fantasize sometime. I mean, I'm not really an art. I make a few art stuff that I'm not really an artist, but you think about, wow, yeah, so what? Sell out and be rich, and then you can have money to make the art you really want to make.
Right. Well, that's yes, and that's probably a honest theory. But does it ever happen? I think that once you start getting the money, anytime anyone gets money, they always want more.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just inevitable.
That's the 1%,
whenever I get a raise
the greed
in
of
my paycheck, I
yeah,
just go
the
spend
greed of the
more, and then I go,
1%.
oh fuck, I
Yeah.
need more now. You don't. It just escalates constantly.
The capitalism is based on buying shit that you don't need, just stupid crap.
Totally, it is. Yeah, and upgrading. Yeah.
The nicer.
Needs to be upgraded. I know, it's good the way it is, huh? Messy, dirty.
No, the cassette tape, that's come back, the hip thing.
Yeah, I didn't really mean to be doing that. That's just the only machine that works now. So, and you got to have your music. And it seems to hold up, which is a great thing.
Okay, now,
They don't make products like that anymore.
shall I stop now?
yeah, let's get going.